Hello, this is Max Level EDC, and I am so excited to be able to be talking about this notebook organizer by Lochby. I'm very thankful that they were able to send this to me because it did a couple of things for me that I think were very important for my EDC. One is it made it impossible for me to decide to go back away from a notebook wallet ever again, but also it really defined very clearly what I needed personally in a notebook organizer. So if you are interested in carrying one, whether it's your primary wallet or something that you carry secondary, you may want to keep watching. We're going to do a full review of this bad boy and post it to YouTube as well as here on Instagram. So I hope you enjoy, and let's do it. All right, so like anything, when you get something new, the first thing you want to do is inspect it, right? So let's go over this notebook organizer up close and personal. So we're going to be zooming in a little bit. We're going to look at the stitching. Now I've had this in my pocket over a week, and it's been in my back pocket, in and out, in and out. I've been using it also as my primary wallet. So it's seen a lot of use already, and that can potentially damage like stitching like this, but we haven't had any issues so far. I just wanted to kind of run through it real quick. Now, obviously, I'm not dragging it through the dirt or anything like that, but truth be told, you may want to see some wear, or you might see some wear if you are using it for even a week. But nothing, no issues. Stitching is still excellent. And if you haven't seen any products made by this company before, this was actually a rebrand from a company called Bond Travel Gear. Now this is a very similar item to their original notebook organizer, but slightly different materials and certainly some higher end just work. It's just really epic, and I'm pretty impressed with the overall fit and finish of pretty much everything related to it. So you have two compartments, main compartments, and on this side you also have the secondary set of compartments. They're credit card size, and then there's a middle slot, which I believe could be used for a variety of things. It's rather tight, so it'd probably be something rather narrow. I'm not exactly sure what. I'm still trying to figure out the best use for this slot. But here, this is big enough to accommodate a passport, and on here you have something big enough to accommodate the notebook that it comes with, which is in dot grid form, which I love. And these are actually quite nice, these notebooks. But this is a standard size. It's a 3.5 by 5 inch notebook. You can get a whole variety of different notebooks that would fit inside this notebook organizer, okay? So you can get it right in the rain, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of them. So not necessarily, that's the nice thing, is it's not proprietary in any way. You can also use smaller notebooks. Nothing's going to stop you from doing that. However, you'll notice that it does require you to have a notebook that opens left to right instead of being flipped over. So that is something that personally I had to consider as well. So there you go. This is the notebook organizer. Now, I wasn't sure about it at first, and here's why. I wanted something I could fit in my pocket, and as an extremist in the EDC world, I was concerned it wouldn't fit enough items that I felt like I had everything I wanted to carry. Now, obviously, I don't need most of the stuff I carry on a day-to-day basis, but I love my tools. What surprised me the most about this is that after a week, it really impressed as far as how comfortable it was to carry, but also how much stuff I was able to pack in, even though every single pouch is incredibly snug, which lends itself to also being very, very comfortable in your pocket. Now, this is certainly a back pocket organizer. However, I was able to fit it in my front pocket. It does fit. However, because there is actually a frame, it's soft. Now, it does ply, but it is rather rigid. It's not exactly the best front pocket. It is very comfortable in the back pocket, and you're still going to have to take it out before you sit down. But actually, that's been helpful for me because I tend to sit on my wallets, which is not good for me. So this actually forced me to get into this habit of pulling it out of my pocket, putting it on the desk in front of me, which also kind of lent itself to me taking notes when I should be taking notes, but I haven't in the past. So this is part of the reason why I really can't go back to not having something both in this size but also in a notebook setup. All right, so what can we fit in here? Okay, we got a lot of different stuff to choose from. One thing you've probably seen a couple of shots of, this is the Vero Engineering pry bar in titanium. This I usually keep here, but I've been able to put it in both slots in combination with other items as well. So it fits here, it fits here. Let's move this back a little bit so I'm not bumping this. All right. There we go. Now, what other things can we fit in here? Well, we can definitely fit the up knife. One of the things I love about this knife is it's incredibly flat. Speaking of flat, as far as multi-tools go, can't go wrong with the good old side clip. Not only does it kind of match the Lochby Organizer in elegance, it also matches it in dimension. It just fits perfectly and just really works. It also tends to work right next to the Vero Engineering fulcrum. So you can see, very, very comfortable and really doesn't stick out at all. Now there are other options you can do. Obviously there's a lot of potential options. You can use the, let's see, what do we got? We got a whole bunch of different stuff here. We have the Skeletal. That will fit. We have even something as big as the Leatherman KF4. Now the one thing you want is you want to make sure there has a lanyard so you can pull it out. But certainly it works. Actually, kind of comfortably, actually. I kind of like that one. All right, we have more pry bars. So here's, well, this is not a pry bar. This is actually a one-piece multi-tool, but the same idea. It's actually kind of loose now that I've stretched it out a number of times. I'm trying to use different larger items, you know, etc., etc. You can put bit kits and so on. And this is not for everybody, but it's certainly my thing. You can put multiple pens in here, no problem. And on the back, you actually have a Velcro pouch. So what you might want to put in here is maybe something you scan, maybe a badge or something like that, because I don't think this particular pocket is RFID protected. However, the inside, I believe, is. I will verify that. But I'm fairly sure it is. I think that was something that was mentioned to me. Now, on the inside, we have slots for cards. Now, you'll have to forgive me. I don't want to, obviously, use my cards. But you can see they do fit. The one issue I did have is there was no easy way. You see how it kind of catches on the zipper? It was a little bit difficult to pull this out. So one thing I would love to be able to see is maybe a pull tab of some sort. So you could like reach in, pull the tab, and it would kind of pull the cards out. Something like that would be really, really cool. I mean, it's a little bit maybe unnecessary. You're probably not going to be pulling these out often, but there it is. And then in this slot, I had the cold forged fork and knife. This thing's really cool, actually. This is something I will be reviewing here in the near future because it is very, very small and it fits in card slots. But that's kind of what I carried most of the time. And instead of carrying a passport, I put the bit kit right there so it stayed flush. So when I had this closed, let's just fill this bad boy up, shall we? So let's do the Messergriff caliper pen in there. Let's do the Vero Engineering fulcrum, which is my go-to. And let's do the, bam. You know what, actually, let's match it up a little bit better. Let's put the up knife in there. Ah, see, that looks good. Now we're talking. So this is certainly an elegant piece, and it really lends itself to that. I'm not sure I'll use it all the time, but one thing I think I'll use it for sure, like 100%, is when I travel, when I carry a passport. This will be my only item that I'll probably carry as far as a wallet is concerned, and in addition to my phone. And I really like that. I think it has practically everything I would want to carry, because I don't want to overburden myself when I'm traveling, and I'm probably not going to carry a lot of items that have blades either. So this will work great for that, and I'm very, very thankful to be able to play with it. So let's see, what else do we have to say about this? Let's just talk overall. What is this? This is kind of, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like a luxury car. It really is comfortable. Like you just get in there, you can tell it's elegant, you can tell it's going to be comfortable, it's going to fit your items, but it may not be as flexible. Like you're not going to go off-roading in your Mercedes. For me, I like to have a very, very functional setup, so maybe this isn't necessarily my ideal EDC item, but what it did for me is it really opened my mind to the possibilities that something like this could bring. Even though it wasn't what I envisioned as being my ideal notebook organizer, there will be instances where I will pick this one over other options because it just works. It just works for that particular instance. Like if I'm going out on a dinner date and I want to keep some of my items, this is a very elegant way to keep it. And if I pull this out on the table, it's not going to look weird. It really looks like it's supposed to be there. And I just love this material, this canvas, this wax. I think it's a wax canvas? But anyway, they also, I heard on the grapevine that by the end of the year they will be coming out with a black version, which I'm very excited to take a look at because it really will match even better with all the items that I like to carry, which tend to be black and red. So there you go. Anyway, so here's the Lochby organizer. I think as far as quality, it's probably one of the nicest things I've ever carried, at least in a fabric material. So really, really well done, guys, and I'm actually really looking forward to using this in the future, especially when I travel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this maybe helped you if you were looking at buying it yourself. And you see the limitations. It's not going to pack a ton of stuff. It's going to force you to stay flat, and that can be a good thing. For some people who tend to want to overpack, this is going to kind of force you to constrain yourself, but at the same time, it still has a lot of potential as far as storage. So there you go. That's the thing. Lochby organizer. Awesome.